Right, so we've got Boris Johnson versus the world. Once again, whether it's Rishi Sunak or the Cabinet Office or the COVID inquiry. He says total nonsense. As I say, it's quite an assertive defence of himself there in that doorstep conversation.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of a number of denials that he's issued over things in the time. Pyramid of Piffle is one of his favourite ones. It can be added to like a lexicon of Boris Johnson denials, and dare I say, it's one of those denials that eventually perhaps might turn out to be slightly ill-judged when all the facts come out. I think he's in a bit of trouble on this one, and clearly he's very angry about the way this has all come about. I think the sort of feeling that the material that was handed over to lawyers should not have ended up in the public domain, or should have not ended up with the inquiry in this way.
I suppose we've got an eye on deadlines, don't we? So he's got till Tuesday, I think, or the government, I should say, has got till Tuesday to comply with the handing over of diaries and WhatsApps, and then we kind of go from there, I suppose.
Yeah, and there could be quite a significant legal battle, because I think what's surprising, or what I found surprising anyway, is the way that the government has approached this. There's a sort of a surprise from them that they're being asked to hand over these things. I would have thought that Baroness Hallett, who's chairing the COVID inquiry, would have asked for this stuff a long time ago. Would have actually, this feels like it's come to a head when actually I would have thought they would have been prepared for this kind of request for information a long time ago. I understand their annoyance with it. The fact is that Baroness Hallett could, essentially take all this information in, decide that actually none of it is relevant. But because she's assessed it, that material then has to be published, because everything that's used as information for this inquiry is eventually published at the end of the inquiry. And it could be quite sort of, politically, even if it's not end up relevant to the inquiry, it could be politically embarrassing, politically difficult, and therefore that's why they want to basically make these redactions, hold back some of this material. And obviously Baroness Hallett feels that that's not the Cabinet Office's job to do. It's her job as the chair of the inquiry to decide what is relevant and what's not.